How to live with uncertainty. Let's be honest with each other for a moment. Right now, you might be feeling a tightness in your chest, a restless energy in your legs, or a mental fog that just won't lift. That is the physical weight of uncertainty. It is the feeling of standing at the edge of a map where the cartographer just stopped drawing and wrote, "Here there be dragons." We are living in a time where the ground beneath our feet feels less like solid earth and more like the deck of a ship in choppy waters. And if you feel exhausted by it, I want you to know that you are not doing something wrong. You are just human. To understand how to live with this feeling, we first have to forgive ourselves for hating it. Your brain, that marvelous biological supercomputer, is essentially a prediction machine. It evolved to keep you safe by analyzing patterns. It wants to know that if you walk out of the cave, a saber-toothed tiger won't be waiting. When the brain can't predict what happens next, whether it's about your career, your relationships, or the state of the world, it treats that lack of information as a physical threat. It sounds the alarm bells. So the anxiety you feel isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign that your survival instincts are working overtime. But here is the paradox we need to explore. While our brains crave certainty, our souls actually wither in it. Think about it. If you knew exactly everything that was going to happen to you every day for the rest of your life, every conversation, every meal, every outcome, you wouldn't feel safe. You would feel imprisoned. We watch movies and read books specifically to feel the thrill of not knowing what comes next. We need a degree of surprise to feel alive. The trick, then, is not to eliminate uncertainty, but to change our relationship with it. We need to move from viewing the unknown as a monster to viewing it as a raw material. Imagine uncertainty not as a void, but as an open space. When things are certain, they are set in stone. There is no room for movement, no room for the unexpected miracle. But when things are uncertain, anything is possible. This is the concept of the fertile void. It's the dark soil where the seed sits before it sprouts. You cannot have growth without that period of darkness and not knowing. Living with uncertainty requires us to stop trying to predict the future and start trusting our ability to handle whatever shows up. This requires a shift from planning to preparing. Planning is trying to control the weather. Preparing is learning how to sail. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to adjust your sails. This means building your internal resources, your resilience, your skills, your community, so that no matter what the future throws at you, you know you have the tools to navigate it. It is about building a trust in yourself that says, "I don't know what is coming, but I know I will be okay when it gets here." A practical way to do this is to focus on what is actually real right now. Anxiety lives in the future. Regret lives in the past. Peace is only found in the present. When the what-ifs start swirling in your head like a tornado, look at your hands. Look at the room you're in. Are you okay right in this second? Usually, the answer is yes. The catastrophe hasn't happened yet. It is only happening in your imagination. Bring your focus back to the immediate step in front of you. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to see the next step. We also need to talk about the illusion of control. We often exhaust ourselves trying to grip the steering wheel of life so tightly that our knuckles turn white. But the truth, which is both terrifying and liberating, is that we never really had control in the first place. We only had the illusion of it. Letting go of that illusion doesn't mean giving up. It means surrendering to the flow. Think of a swimmer caught in a strong current. If they fight against it, they drown. If they relax and float, they conserve energy and eventually find their way to shore. Surrender is not weakness, it is the ultimate act of adaptation. Another beautiful approach is to cultivate curiosity instead of fear. Fear contracts, curiosity expands. When you face an uncertain situation, try to swap the question, "What if it goes wrong?" with, "I wonder what will happen." It's a subtle linguistic shift, but it changes your brain chemistry. It moves you from a defensive posture to an exploratory one. Treat your life like a laboratory. You are the scientist. The uncertain period is just an experiment. You are gathering data. Even if things don't go the way you prefer, you haven't lost. You have just gathered data. It is also vital to anchor yourself in rituals. When the world outside is chaotic, your internal world needs structure. This doesn't mean a rigid schedule, but rather small, non-negotiable acts of self-care. Making your bed the same way every morning, a 10-minute walk. These small certainties act as anchors. They remind your nervous system that there are still things you can shape, still patterns you can rely on. They provide a safe harbor where you can rest before heading back out into the unknown. Finally, remember that you are not alone in this fog. Every single person you admire, everyone who has built something great, has walked through the valley of uncertainty. They didn't have a map either. They just kept walking. Uncertainty is the price of admission for a life that is your own. If you are feeling lost, it's likely because you have left the beaten path to forge your own way. That is a brave thing to do. Be kind to yourself while you're in the messy middle of the journey. The fog will lift. It always does. And when it does, you will find yourself in a landscape you never could have predicted, but which is exactly where you are meant to be. If this conversation helped quiet the noise in your mind even a little bit, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below sharing one small thing you're doing to navigate the unknown. Your story might be the exact thing someone else needs to read today. And if you want to keep walking this path together, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so we can find our way through the fog in the next video. You've got this.